my chair, I'll sit. It's a bad turn to take.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. My name is Vivian Lee. I work for Trinity Financial, and thank you for being here today to celebrate the Economic Opportunity Center. We've been looking forward to this moment for a very long time, and we're thrilled to finally be breaking ground here today. Thank you to all of the electeds for being here today, and we have a great lineup of speakers, so we'll jump right into the program. To kick things off, please join me in welcoming Chairman Joe Carlson of the Worcester Housing Authority.
Thank you, and thank you very much for everybody being here today. First, let me start with acknowledging my fellow commissioners on the board. We have Joseph Capone here, Jose Ramos, and William Eddy is someplace standing there. So Commissioner Eddy, Ramos, and Capone, thank you very much for joining us today. This is an exciting day down here at Curtis Apartments. We not only get to enjoy the groundbreaking on the new Economic Development Center, but we even got to see what the future of Curtis Apartments is. With some beautiful units that have already been completed, and we couldn't be more excited. And when we talk about the Economic Opportunity Center, I remember it's got to be 8 or 9 years ago, then City Manager Augustus came down and we were talking about the library. And we have our current library in one of the housing units, and how great it would be to have a real Worcester Library branch here at Great Brook Valley. And Ed shared that dream at that time, because especially you're talking to somebody, looking at somebody who spent the first 20 years of his life living here in Curtis Apartments. And the best day of the week used to be when the bookmobile would show up. There was an old Greyhound bus that the city would pack with books and show up once a week. Just imagine being a young kid here at the Valley going forward with a state-of-the-art library, with the new state-of-the-art computers. I just think that's fabulous. It couldn't be more exciting. And then everybody here from the Housing Authority is so intelligent, they even figured out how to squeeze 24 units up on top of this library to give 24 additional Worcester residents a place to call home. So that's the best of both worlds, along with the meeting space and whatnot that's going to be there. And just before I close, I really just want to thank Trinity Development and the great work and the partnership that we've enjoyed. A very, very first-class outfit. What they say they're going to do, they do. And Dimeo, who teamed up with them to get the construction done, all with union labor, all doing things on budget and on time. And we couldn't be happier the way it's all worked out. And also, heading that all up is certainly our great staff at the Worcester Housing Authority, headed up by Alex and Peter, making sure that the trains keep moving. And let me tell you something. This Worcester Housing Authority, and should all be proud of the housing authorities, and I'm not just talking about Massachusetts, in the United States of America, is one of the premier housing authorities that exist in this country. So you should all be proud of the great work that gets done here. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairman Carlson. Next, please welcome CEO of the Worcester Housing Authority, Alex Corrales.
I always hate when I have to follow up speeches like that, right? It makes it so hard, but thank you, Vivian. I do want to acknowledge a couple of former counselors that are here. I saw former counselor Matt Wally. I know one of my commissioners, Bill Eddy, is a former counselor, and I also saw former District 1 counselor Tony Economo is here as well. So thank you for being here, and thank you for everyone who is here supporting this project. I greatly appreciate it. You know, last night I did a tour with a bunch of principals from various schools here at the Burncoat Quadrant. And the goal was just to walk around and connect us with a partnership of housing and education. And as we started walking around, it was a great walk. The weather was good. And the nice thing about it was you saw families out. They saw these principals. They were like celebrities to the kids because they never expected their principal to be in their neighborhood. And they got to mingle with parents, kids, families. It was a great experience. But one story stood out to me last night, and that was the principal over at Burncoat Middle. And she said to me, Alex, I grew up here in Great Brook Valley. She said, this is my neighborhood. And we even went to the apartment over at 113 Constitution where she grew up as a kid. And she had a flurry of emotions because it was almost bittersweet. She remembered where she was, but she also remembered how tough things were when she was growing up. And she said to me, as we were walking, she said, look, I was the first one in my family to graduate high school. I was the only one to go to college, the only one to obtain a master's degree, and I'm the only one that was ever able to realize home ownership. She said, my parents supported me and they tried really hard, but they didn't know the path to be able to help me. So I relied on mentors and programs here at the Housing Authority and at the school, and I was surrounded by people who helped me along the way. Those people never gave up on me. She said they lifted me when I tumbled, but they also were there to celebrate my victories. And so today, she's a principal at Burncoat Middle, and she's giving back to the kids who live in the same neighborhood that she once did. So, you know, her story reminds me that the Economic Opportunity Center is more than just bricks and mortar. It's about creating opportunity. So we're going to have families who achieve self-sufficiency, and they're breaking the cycle of poverty. We want their children to recognize that public housing is only a stepping stone along the way. That's what the Economic Opportunity Center represents. It represents it for us, for my staff, for everyone here, especially for the residents that we serve on a daily basis. It's a true catalyst of change that is going to occur here. So before I conclude, I want to thank everyone that's here, but I also want to thank folks who are intimately involved with this project over the last couple of years and have received countless phone calls from me pleading for some kind of assistance. That's for you, Secretary. Where are you? So that's for you. So certainly Governor Healy, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Augustus, huge proponents of the work that we're doing here. The City of Worcester, Mayor Petty, we have City Manager Batista, the City Council, very supportive to this project and the work that we do, and their staff. Our development partner, Trinity, I can't say enough good things. Chairman Carlson said it already, but they're a wonderful development partner, and Dimeo has done fantastic work in phase 1, and I only expect that level of excellence in phase 2. I want to thank my Board of Commissioners that are here today, and I think I did see Commissioner Renee Westbrook over there. So hello, Commissioner, thank you for coming. They are truly one of the best boards that exist. They are supportive, but they also recognize the need in this community, and they push for excellence for me and for my team. And so it's a privilege to work for them. It's not always easy, but I know that they're moving us in the right direction. I want to thank our residents. They're the ones that have been impacted, having to move out of their apartment temporarily before they come back, and they've been patient with us, so I don't want to forget about them. And last but not least, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my team, my Housing Authority staff that's here. They're the reason this all happens. They make me look good. They make the job look easy, but they're the ones sweat, blood, and tears. And so I want to just take a moment to recognize my WHA team for everything you guys do. I really appreciate all the work. So at the end of it, together, it's not just that we're building new housing. We're building hope, we're building opportunity, and we're building lasting change. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
And it is my great pleasure to introduce our very special guest, Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll.
What a great afternoon to be in Worcester. I mean, every day is a great day to be in Worcester. But we really are grateful when we're here celebrating what I think is a real act of community will, given the number of players and partners who have helped us both with the new units soon to come online that we just toured here at Curtis Apartments, and today to break ground on this next phase, 150 new units. These apartments are going to provide much needed housing for members of the Worcester community. And as you've heard, none of that happens alone. I think, Ed, Secretary Augustus, you've been in Worcester all morning with ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. And third one? This is the third one? Third one. So that just goes to show you not only our commitment to this community, to gateway cities, but to ensuring we're really celebrating the housing forward work happening in this community. I can't say enough about how that is driven by local officials. So I want to thank Mayor Petty, City Manager Batista, members of the City Council, Councilor Carlson I know is here, because it can be hard on the ground in the local community to support housing, to put your hand up and say we need more housing, we need to develop housing that fits what community standards are, and that's exactly what we've done here. And we've seen the Champagne Cork is off of Worcester, standing up for housing every single day. So thank you to our local officials who lead that effort and take a lot of the slings and arrows along the way. None of that happens unless we have a partnership at the state level. And oh my gosh, Worcester has an amazing delegation. Senator Kennedy, Rep. O'Day, Rep. Donahue. I'm leaving out some of your other delegation members who aren't here today. But I want folks in this community to know how hard you fight, you talk, you make sure we know what your priorities are. And that's why there were 3 separate events today in Worcester. Because we hear loud and clear a community standing up for the need. As a state, can we do our part? And we've only got these resources because of the strong partnership we have with the legislature. So thank you all for being here and supporting this important work. And as we heard, the individuals who will be living here and the opportunities that are uplifted, this isn't just a housing project. It offers those services from a public library. That's another city commitment to ensure they'll have a space here for neighbors who live in this neighborhood to utilize, supportive services. I think there's no housing authority that does this, frankly, as well as Worcester. And I just want to recognize your efforts, Alex and your team, and Joe as the board members, because housing authorities are fuel. You know, Massachusetts has the most state-owned public housing of any state in the country. Most of it was built, 50, 60, sometimes 70 years ago. And we've really made it a point to try and keep up with modernizing and improving these facilities. And Worcester's really taken a lot of advantage of that by putting themselves out there, by leading with projects that we know are going to make a big difference, and by not thinking it's somebody else's job to provide quality housing. I like to say we're not admiring this problem. There's no cavalry coming from Washington to help us build and develop and fix and modernize the housing that we own as a state. And so we're leaning in and doing that work. None of that happens unless you have people on the ground who are supportive of that and leading that. So thank you, Alex, and your team for making today's work possible, and the wraparound support. This is the idea of a village lifestyle, where folks can live and get services without having to drive or need a car and connect to what they need. And the full circle story that you shared about that principle is certainly evidence of that. I'll just say, for me, the best part of today has been meeting some of the new tenants that will be moving into that new facility, knowing that they're going to have a space that is safe, that provides what their family needs, that is modern, that is up to date. That's what, when we talk about affordable housing, that's what we need. And for so many communities, the idea of affordable housing does not lead to ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings. And for Worcester and this community, being able to meet the tenants who are going to live in this amazing housing, who are going to go on to do great things, That's what makes my heart sing. So congratulations to everyone here today, not only on the project we're breaking ground on today, but the success you've already had, the dreams you've already fulfilled, the doors of opportunity that you're already opening up. Congratulations.
And from the Executive Office of Housing and Livable Communities, please give a warm welcome to Secretary Augustus.
Thank you, Vivian. And I would say some of you may know Vivian's dad, Patrick Lee, who's part of the Trinity team. I'm a big fan of Patrick's. Patrick and I worked together on the courthouse project in downtown Worcester, and if any of you have gone through that, you know the quality work that Trinity does. They're fantastic partners, and I know they've been fantastic partners on this project. So best to Vivian and to her dad and to the whole Trinity team, thanks for what you do. All the thank yous have been said, but not everybody has said them, so I'm just going to quickly add my voice. Today is a day that I'm so excited about because it brings together so many things that I love. Housing, particularly public housing. I really try to kind of learn as much as I can about public housing across Massachusetts. Some of you know I've visited 163 housing authorities across Massachusetts, talking to residents, talking to employees, talking to board members, making sure that we're understanding what's going on the ground, not just reading reports in Boston, but talking to people that understand and seeing for ourselves firsthand. So to all of the folks who work at the Worcester Housing Authority, to the board members, thank you for what you do. It is really noble, important work, and everybody here should give them a round of applause because they're doing amazing. Another thing I love is the Worcester Public Library. We got a lot of the librarians here. We have the head librarian, Jason Holman, we have the Library Foundation, who does so much to raise money for the library. And to me, this is exciting because it brings together the opportunity to bring, modern, up-to-date housing units, but also to create these amenities that are not only available to the folks who live here, but throughout this neighborhood and throughout the city of Worcester who can come. This has always been a big site for kids who come and do their homework after school, but we never had enough computer terminals for all the kids who wanted to do their homework here. We're going to double the size of the library, which means more kids can get that homework help in a safe place with a supportive staff to help them discover their dreams and to discover a pathway forward. So I just want to thank everybody affiliated with the Worcester Public Library for what they're doing. And most of all, the city of Worcester. This is the most amazing place in the world. A place that's given me so many opportunities in my life. But to come back and see what Worcester does better than I think any other community in the Commonwealth, which has come together. I was saying Worcester is kind of a Goldilocks community. It's big enough that we have foundations, and we have hospitals, and we have museums, and we have all sorts of entities, hospitals, but we're small enough we can get all the right people in the room to say, how are we going to get this done? And over and over and over again, Worcester figures out how to get it done. It's not without a lot of very talented and dedicated leadership, starting with Mayor Petty, who is an incredibly strong advocate for all things Worcester, brings people together, forges consensus, and then moves us forward. So I want to thank Mayor Petty, Eric Batista, who's the best city manager Worcester's ever had. That's high praise coming from me. Eric's done a great job, really just kept the momentum going in Worcester, and to the whole team with the city of Worcester, and I know Peter Dunn and Jim Brooks are here from the Economic Development and Housing team, again, bringing a team together. Councilor Carlson, I know she's here somewhere, who's the district councilor, who's just a fierce advocate for her district. I want to thank them all. The legislative delegation has been said. Now I want you to pause on this number. $80 million of state investment have gone into phase 1 and phase 2 of this project. $80 million of state investment. That's a testimony to the governor and the lieutenant governor's commitment to housing. It's not just talking the talk, but it's actually delivering the dollars necessary to actually transform opportunities. So a lot of credit goes to the governor and lieutenant governor for really leaning in on housing, making it a top priority for the state. and to our legislative partners who passed the Affordable Homes Act, which historically raised the dollars for public housing capital to $2 billion, so we can make sure those 43,000 units are updated, modern, accessible, safe, decarbonized. So many good things happening in this one project. Finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask my team at HLC to wave their hands. A lot of the folks who do all the hard work to approve all these projects and keep things moving. We appreciate what you guys do. Again, it's a partnership, it's a village, everybody coming together to make this happen. Look forward to phase 3. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Secretary Augustus. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Petty.
Thank you, Vivian. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank you all for being here today. As the Lieutenant Governor leaves, I want to thank her. She said it's a great day in Worcester. It's always a great day when the Governor and the Lieutenant Governor come to the city of Worcester and spend their money. So I much appreciate it. Mr. Secretary, thank you for being here again. Couldn't be done without you, our legislative partners here, Senator, State Rep. O'Day, Senator Kennedy, Dan Denny was out there too, and Candy Merrill Carlson. Asked me, Candy, how many units have you built in your district yourself in the last couple of years? Counting these phase 1 through 4 here, and Green Street, Franklin Street, we're looking almost 1,500 units going up in this one district. So she should be proud of that. I also want to thank Eric, the manager, and his team, Peter and Jim. Thank you for everything you do. For a small group of people, they're very involved in every housing project we have here in the city of Worcester. I want to thank Alex, Joe Carlson, what they're doing here in the phases and future development we're going to have, as Joe has already mentioned. So it's about being a team, getting things done. And today marks another leap forward for the progress of the city of Worcester, taking another step closer to beautiful, new affordable housing for our residents here. Now more than ever, there is a critical need for affordable housing within the city. And projects like this help to improve the quality of life of Worcester's residents who will benefit from the next phase of development. Our success in meeting the critical need for housing can only be gained through our ability to work together. The folks that you have listened to and seen in the program, as well as those in the crowd, each of you have come together to help to make this happen. I'm so proud of the working relationships maintained between the city, our private and our public partners, and our state administration. What a privilege it is to be part of such a successful working partnership. And that's so true. You really think about other communities, the governor, the state legislature is not giving us money if you don't think we're going to spend it on, right? They have no problem spending money here because they know it's going to be implemented correctly here in the city of Worcester. With the 129 units of phase 1 well on their way to completion, we are now embarking on phase 2, which will include another 150 units in 5 buildings plus a branch again of the Worcester Public Library. Congratulations. And on Economic Opportunity Center for the Worcester Housing Authority. But this is so much more than new buildings. Landscape architect Copley Wolf has helped create a master plan for multi-acre property that will regenerate city blocks, connecting streets and pedestrians ways along with new parks, open spaces, and create a new Worcester neighborhood. Once again, it's also great to have Trinity. I want to thank Vivian, I want to thank Patrick, Michael, and the whole Trinity team that is here today. I'm answering another important call. This following the phenomenal job they did with the courthouse loss, and more recently Curtis Apartments Phase 1, along with Demio. Trinity's response to this call to action will create even more comfortable, more modern housing for individuals and families who are in most of need. Curtis Apartments, next to Great Brook Valley, has a long history as one of the oldest properties owned by the Housing Authority. As veterans return home from war, the greatest generation face a housing crisis much like the one we face today. The government responded by building these apartments almost 80 years ago, shortly before they survived the 1953 tornado. Today we turn another page as we continue to build housing for those who need it. Investing in parts of Worcester that have not been given a chance to flourish is crucial to making sure everyone reaps the benefits of a positive forward momentum. As we come together for today's groundbreaking, let's remember the excitement that results with partners when partners collaborate in progress. And let's dig in once again and get another job done. Congratulations, Alex and Joe, for a great work today.
join me in welcoming Worcester's City Manager, Eric Batista.
Good afternoon, everyone. I just had to make sure it was afternoon and not morning. My day's a little off because we've been very excited today, because today's been a tour of the city, of celebrating affordable housing in this community. And I'm just really excited today. And as I'm sitting next to the state representative all day, he's like, "It's your turn, buddy." And I said, "I have no idea what to say because everything's already been said." But I just want to say a few words in terms of the River Valley and the work that the Housing Authority does here. As many of you know, and many of you probably can have your personal stories and connection points to this location of this city. And for many years, people may look at River Valley and talk about GBV and talk about how bad it is or how tough it can be. But also, what we can talk about is the transformation that we've seen here in this area. The transformation of people in this stage that have locked arms together with community to say, we're going to make some changes. And those changes have been positive changes for the people that live here, the people that have resided, the people that for generations and generations have felt like people weren't paying attention or supporting them. And I think this project here signals that, not only phase one, but also the Economic Opportunity Center. Because I always like, when I talk to young people, I always talk about the importance of having people in your corner. And so I always make this correlation to a boxer. And a boxer typically, right, you see the boxer on the boxing match, on the ring, and you say, okay, they're a great boxer, etc. But they do the work behind, and they don't do it by themselves. They do it with a group of people behind them who are specifically tasked to do a specific task in making sure that boxer is successful. And so the individuals that live in this community, that have lived in this community, it's about the wraparound services, the community support, and about each individual person that fulfills that role. And like the boxer, making sure they're training them, they're cleaning up their wounds, giving them the water. Everybody plays a significant role. And I think the Worcester Housing Authority has set up a success here with many different wraparound services to be able to do that. And one for me that I'm extremely proud of is our Worcester Public Library and the leadership of Jason Homer to be able to provide that here in this community. The Worcester Public Library is special. They do a lot of great work in our community, and they do it in many different pockets throughout the city. But doing it here is even more special because we now get to have a brand new facility that we had the opportunity to play a role in designing and creating a space of belonging for the residents of this community, for the young people of this community, so they can have access to books, to education, to the circulation that we can have through in the programs that are happening at the Worcester Public Library. So that to me brings a lot of excitement, and it just means the true meaning of what it is to work as a collaboration, as a community, and wrap ourselves around this community and this neighborhood. So I can't go on just like every other without thanking the people who make this happen. One, I want to thank the leadership of Joe Carlson and the Worcester Housing Authority to be innovative and to be willing to say yes anytime we talk about projects and ways to do different things here at River Valley. Trinity Financial and your leadership, Vivian Lee, Patrick, Mike, Kevin, thank you all for the work that you do, for always willing to say yes. The state, Ed, thank you for always willing to say yes, keep bringing us more money. The state legislature, always willing to say yes and say, how do we figure this out? How do we work together and make this happen? The city council and the mayor, always willing to say yes and figuring out ways that we can think differently to continue to build housing in this community. I want to thank our staff under the leadership of Peter Dunn and Jim Brooks for their always willingness to always say yes, to figuring out ways in which we can think and utilize our resources to develop more housing and more opportunities. And then to all the community members and every business partner and folks who are here for always willing to say yes again. Because that's what makes Worcester who we are and why we continue to move forward in what we do. Because we're always willing to say yes and we're always willing to move forward. So thank you all and congratulations, and we can't wait again to see what's coming.
Please Please welcome State Senator Robin Kennedy.
Thank you so much for doing that. I'll continue the thank yous and acknowledgments. And I first want to say, acknowledge District 1 City Councilor Jenny Pasillo, who I see is hiding somewhat behind the sign over there, but is an incredible champion for this district. And thank you so much, Jenny, for all you do. You know, so much has already been said about what is happening here today, but I really want folks to leave with the really important message of what is Curtis Apartments, what is Great Brook Valley, and that is community. For the lifetime that this has existed here, as you drive through it, and I often do because I live right up the street off of Clark Street, you see community, you see families outside, you see children playing together. It has always been a community. And what you see here today and what we're celebrating with Phase 1 and moving into Phase 2 is a commitment by so many partners here to continue to foster that community and to build opportunity. And I want to thank, because none of that happens by accident, I want to thank certainly Joe Carlson, the leadership of the board, and Alex Corrales and the entire team here for their persistent vision to building that community, to fostering the growth, to giving families that opportunity. For the new Tacoma Street playground that's coming, thank you, City Manager, for turning a small swing set into what's going to be an enormous playground, splash pad for kids to be able to get outside and have open space to run around and grow and explore. Certainly to Jason Homer and our public library for the partnership. Community, that is community, giving, as was said, space for kids to learn, to do their homework, to connect with each other after the school hours. The Edward M. Kennedy Health Center, building that community right here, making sure that every resident in our community, every resident across the city has that same opportunity to be in community and to thrive. And opportunity, that's the other big important word that's happening here. We see it in Phase 1, giving families the opportunity to have dignified housing. Walking through that building, it strikes you, the light, the natural light that's coming into every one of those units. That's so powerful that families are going to be able to have that compared to some of the old and outdated units. And we're going to continue to build that new housing so they have that opportunity. Building mixed income units so that with the Economic Opportunity Center, families have the opportunity to build their income, to be able to grow and stay in their community. Stay where they are. I want to stay in my neighborhood, we often always do. We're giving that opportunity as well. And I want to thank that, and certainly having union work on the job. I think they're here on 100% in Phase 1. 100%. That doesn't happen by accident. That's local jobs, that's union jobs, that's equally as important to making sure that as we're investing in our community, putting the dollars in, we're also lifting up our community. And so I just want to echo the gratitude certainly to Trinity for the partnership, the entire Worcester Housing Authority staff, who not just does the construction work and the oversight of rent management, but builds community in each of the Housing Authority units across the entire city here, for all you do every day. And certainly to my partners in state government that are here, Representative Donahue, that was mentioned, Representative O'Day, certainly the Haley Driscoll administration and Secretary Vestas, who've been an incredible partner to the city of Worcester and to our surrounding communities. We often say it's a struggle to get some of those dollars outside of the 128 belt, but it's made easier when you have an administration who understands what we're doing out here in our communities, what incredible community we have here in Worcester. And so we certainly couldn't do without that incredible partnership. So thank you so much to the mayor, the city manager, and the city council, and for everyone that's had a role in this effort to get us here through Phase 1, almost through Phase 1 into Phase 2. And I echo the city manager, wow, I love that, Secretary Augustus, in saying ready for Phase 3. So thank you all.
Please welcome State Representative O'Day.
Good afternoon, everyone. At risk of not being repetitive, and I'll try not to be because you've heard some really great speakers here today, but one of the things I want to say is if you read the news at all, you hear one thing out of many, it's housing, housing, housing. Right? And so us gathering here today is incredibly in line with what we're trying to accomplish as a Commonwealth. I need to say that you know, we do have Healy and Driscoll currently. But when this project became sort of a vision, they were not in office. So it's taken some time to get to where we are. So as Healy and Driscoll came in, there were some concerns that this project could maybe get pushed aside. Well, let me just tell you that Trinity and Alex and Joe Carlson and others, they were not going to let this project be pushed aside. I was on speed dial with Trinity, I was on speed dial with Alex, and we made sure every day we were calling the new administration and saying, hey, we cannot forget about this project in Great Brook Valley, Curtis Apartments, in the city of Worcester. Now, they were coming in, they had many other requests, similar in nature, but not any as good as this particular project. And then, lo and behold, a young fellow by the name of Ed Augustus became the czar of housing. Imagine when the czar of housing comes from the... Imagine when the czar of housing used to be the city manager of the city of Worcester. Funny how those things happen, Mr. Czar. I'm being a little facetious. He's been tremendous, right? People who come from Worcester, who rise to places of power, they don't forget where they come from. And I say that in all honesty and sincerity. Ed has not forgotten us. He's done a tremendous job across the Commonwealth. But certainly what we've been able to accomplish here, only in a short couple of years, and more is to come, as you've heard from everyone here today. The other point I want to make, 1983, I started as a social worker for the Department of Social Services. And I've been involved in one way or another with Great Brook Valley since 1983. And the changes that have gone on here over 40 plus years is unbelievable. This is a community. It's going to become an even greater community. And I'm really pleased to have the opportunity to be able to represent this community. And again, I want to say nothing gets done in a vacuum. State, city, federal. There's some federal monies here too, I believe, right? And so, to everybody involved, thank you from the bottom of my heart and from all those who are going to be residing here. Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
All right, thank you, Representative O'Day. As we've heard from many of today's speakers, the need for more housing, and especially affordable housing, has never been more urgent. And today's groundbreaking is a good reminder of what we can accomplish when we work together. The Healy-Driscoll administration has been a key partner every step of the way with their continued commitment to expanding access to affordable housing. With the leadership of Secretary Augustus and the investment from EOHLC, this project is not only moving forward, but it is also setting a new standard for what community-centered development can look like. The staff at HLC and the folks on the public housing side have worked relentlessly on this project, so we are very grateful for your contributions. Thank you, Mayor Petty and City Manager Batista. Worcester has been an incredible partner and a dedicated advocate for the Economic Opportunity Center. This project is the result of countless hours of work from the city, and without their support, we would not be breaking ground here today. Thank you to the folks at HUD who have been constant partners in problem solving and driving this vision forward. And of course, the Worcester Housing Authority has been at the heart of this effort. Alex and his team lead with a deep commitment to the residents they serve. With a partnership like this, we're able to make a real and lasting difference, and the EOC is a perfect example of that. Not only will it provide 24 deeply affordable housing units, it will also include on-site resident services, a dedicated community facility, and self-sufficiency programs. The Worcester Public Library is an essential cornerstone to the new EOC, and for families, this means access to books, learning programs, and a safe space where children can grow and explore, and all right in one space where they live under one roof. And that is the key part of making this a truly well-rounded and supportive environment. In the years to come, Curtis will be transformed into a modern and fully accessible and energy-efficient community that will be an example of what we can accomplish together. And thank you to the design and construction team for bringing this vision to life. In just a moment, you'll hear from a Curtis resident, Wildelise Perez. We're very thrilled that she's able to join us today and share a few words. And before I hand it over, I want to give a quick thanks to my colleague, Mike Lozano, who deserves enormous credit. Yes. Mike, as many of you know, Mike has steered this project to this stage from the beginning, and Trinity is so proud to be part of Worcester's momentum. And thank you to the Worcester Housing Authority and to the residents of Curtis for trusting us with this work. Please join me in welcoming Wildelise Perez.
So Wildelise is one of our residents at Curtis Apartments. She's also a participant in our Better Life program. Wildelise is fully bilingual, but she asked if she could deliver the speech in Spanish, and I will do my best to translate it in English. So.
Buenas tardes. Es un honor para mí estar aquí con todos ustedes en este día tan especial. Un día que tiene un profundo significado para mí, no solo como un hito en mi vida, sino también como un símbolo de esperanza para tantos otros.
Good afternoon. It's an honor for me to be here with all of you on this very special day, a day that holds deep meaning for me, not only as a milestone in my life, but also as a symbol of hope for so many others.
Llegué a Whistler después que el huracán María devastara mi hogar en Puerto Rico. En cuestión de horas, todo por lo que había trabajado conmigo se perdió. Nuestra casa se inundó. Nuestras pertenencias fueron destruidas y mis dos hijos pequeños y yo quedamos con poco menos que las ropas que llevábamos puestas.
I came to Worcester after Hurricane Maria devastated my home in Puerto Rico. In just a few hours, everything I worked so hard for was gone. Our house was flooded, our belongings destroyed, and my two young children and I were left with little more than just the clothes on our backs.
Aquí, en los apartamentos Curtis, a través del extraordinario programa de Better Life, encontré oportunidad, motivación y la posibilidad de volver a soñar. Hoy tengo una carrera significativa, he aumentado mis ingresos y mis ahorros, estoy en camino hacia la compra de mi propio hogar y en solo 3 semanas tendré mi título de maestría.
Here at Curtis Apartments, through the extraordinary A Better Life program, I have found opportunity, encouragement, and the chance to dream again. Today, I have a meaningful career, I have increased my income and savings, I am on the path to buying my own home, and in just 3 weeks, I will obtain my master's degree. I think that deserves an applause.
El nuevo Centro de Oportunidad Económica representa exactamente eso, oportunidad. Un lugar donde otras familias como la mía podrán seguir construyendo una vida mejor para ellas mismas.
The new Economic Opportunity Center represents exactly that, opportunity. A place where other families like mine can continue building a better life for themselves.
Quiero agradecer a la gobernadora Healy, a la vicegobernadora Driscoll, al secretario Augustus, al equipo de Worcester Housing Authority, a Trinity Financial y a todos los que han ayudado a convertir este sueño en realidad.
I would like to thank Governor Healy, Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, Secretary Augustus, the WHA team, Trinity Financial, and everyone who has helped this dream into a reality.
No puedo esperar a mudarme a mi nuevo apartamento en Curtis, a cruzar las puertas de este nuevo edificio y a seguir construyendo una vida mejor para mis hijos. Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias.
Sí.
Muchas gracias.
So I cannot wait to move into my new apartment at Curtis, to walk through the doors of this new building, and to continue building a better life for my children. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Will Louise, and thank you to all of our speakers and guests. We sincerely appreciate your presence here today and your support of this project. We lucked out with a beautiful day to celebrate, so please stay a while, enjoy the refreshments, and have a great afternoon. And, sorry, thank you for the reminder, Patrick. Jimmy will be hosting another tour if you're interested in taking a look at the Phase 1 site. I think you can just meet on this side of the stage, and a tour will begin, I think, now, in the next couple of minutes. Yeah. Thank you.